Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian.
That man and his manga.
Hello and welcome to That Man, That's Been Recognised. Today we are looking at Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, a light novel that is published by Yen Press, and this was actually sent to me as a review copy for a fair and honest review. And honestly, this one is rather cute. Elisa is Siren Private Academy's solitary princess. She's a half-Russian beauty with silver hair, at the top of her class, student council accountant, and completely unapproachable. For some reason, she's also taken on the responsibility of reprimanding the slacker who sits next to her in class. Masachika Kuze is constantly frustrating her by falling asleep, forgetting his textbooks, and just being an overall unexemplary student. Or at least that's how it looks from the outside. She may put on a tough act, but he doesn't mind Masachika as much as others would think. She even lets him call her by her nickname, Alya. Anyone here in the comments, she mutters in Russian under her breath, might know how she really feels. But since none of her classmates understand the language, she's free to say whatever she likes. Except, there is one person who knows what she's saying. Masachika eavesdrops on her embarrassing revelations, pretending to be clueless, all the while wondering what her flirtatious comments actually mean. So the synopsis itself has pretty much explained everything they need to know about Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian. That's right, and you're probably thinking, while reading that, it is very similar to The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten, which is a title that I reviewed about a year ago on the channel and has recently just picked up a volume 5 because I actually really enjoyed it. It is one of those sugary, sweet, very cute, very no frills, slice of life romance titles, and I'm not gonna lie, this one is very much in the same vein. It's not quite as sugary and sweet, it doesn't hit that sweet spot quite as much, but it still does do a very good job. Let's talk about the characters, shall we? Our main heroine is Elisa, or Alya as she's known to her friends, and she is essentially the princess of the classroom, you know, that untouchable girl who just seems to radiate cuteness as she goes around. I'm trying to find the words to say I'm very far removed from being in a classroom, but she is that popular one who every guy wants to date, and she is that girl who a lot of girls want to be more like. And yep, she's pretty much untouchable. With that, she's also Russian. So that's right, she has life a little bit different to everybody else. And it was quite nice. I quite liked the way they kind of portrayed her. She was a very cute character, and obviously she's going to be the main love interest. And that's kind of about it. So one of the things that I'm going to see about this one is that the characters are pretty much well known, because we have the whole thing of Alya. Well, she's a bit of a, she feels like she's kind of, oh, she's a bit snooty, but she's also got that side of her where she actually really likes the main protagonist. Yeah, that's fine. But we don't really see much else about her in this volume, which is a huge shame. It's pretty apparent that she exists to be cute, and I've got nothing against that. I've nothing against characters that are designed to look cute. Shock! But in some ways I kind of wanted a little bit more from her. Because she is the poster child of the series, you kind of want a little bit more than just being a cute character who sometimes speaks in Russian and has a little bit of a secret identity that she likes the main character. Yeah, I like the idea, I just wanted a little bit more, but hey, volume 1. The other character is our main male character, Masachika, who, honestly, in terms of main characters, isn't quite as bad. Now, one of the things that we do tend to find in a lot of these light novels, especially with such as Angel Next Door, is the main protagonist is absolutely dense. He doesn't know anything, and yeah, we kind of have that, except they also kind of run with the fact that he's also very reliable, and in fact to the point that he pretty much resolves every single issue with this particular like every issue Alya has, he seems to kind of just swoop in and sorts everything for her, and yeah, I quite like that idea. There is kind of like, I don't know, it just felt like there wasn't much development, and again, it's kind of one of those characters where you kind of just look and just go, oh, he's cool. And that's about it. Of course, he knows the whole thing. She's speaking Russian, he can speak Russian, but he doesn't let her know that. But we still have a few of the whole things where he's just dancing, it's like, ooh, just see calling somebody cute. Who could that be? And while I feel that is pretty quickly resolved and it becomes more apparent that he is aware of her feelings, I don't know, it just kind of feels like he should have either went with that or kind of not. And in some ways, because he isn't too dense, it kind of makes it more frustrating that he's just kind of just like leading her on, I suppose. I don't know, it was weird. I mean, I didn't dislike the main character. In fact, in terms of main characters go, he was a lot more interesting. He was at least capable of being a human being compared to a lot of these light novels, but it wasn't too kind of like interesting overall. Now, I've talked about two of the characters. There are other characters as well, including what is an actual genuine interesting twist in with the character who is labelled as the main male character's childhood friend. So watch out for that, because it is quite possibly one of the better twists I've actually found in some of these particular titles, and I really liked it. That was one of the things I did like. I didn't want to go too much into it because, I mean, while this is a review of Volume 1, I don't want to just jump down and spoil everything. But apart from that, I've kind of ranted about a few things, but genuinely, I really like this volume. I really like this series. Now, I knew going in from the synopsis it was just going to be one of those cute slice of life romance titles, and while the characters didn't necessarily stick out, the main girl was cute, and that's kind of what you get on the front cover. You're expecting a cute girl being cute and flustered. The main male character is a lot more competent than a lot of other main male characters in these slice of life titles, and that really works. And you know what, this is a very short and easy read, and actually is one of those titles where it's got a lot of very short chapters, so you can literally sit down on your break or whenever you get a spare 5-10 minutes and pretty much read a chapter. And I always appreciate that. I always appreciate titles that at least take into consideration that people have busy lives and they can't just sit and read the entire volume. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the story has been done before, and in fact I kind of would call it a cross between The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten and Teasing Master Takagi-san. That's what I thought when going in. It is a very, very cute slice of life romancy title which doesn't really outstay its welcome. I mean, the first volume was, what, 160 odd pages, wasn't going to break the bank, but you know what, it did enough, and it was like the main male girl, she was cute, the main male guy, he was pretty cool, and they had a nice relationship. And I quite liked that. I quite liked the fact that it didn't go too much. I was expecting the whole thing like Takagi, where it kind of just kept having them in the classroom doing this and that. No, she gets in and she does befriend him very quickly. She does feel like she's part of his life and he's part of hers very quickly. They aren't just these two people where they have like school in common and then after that they just don't see each other. This is genuinely a slice of life between two people who are in their budding, small, young lives. Now, one of the things I didn't like is, again, while I put as a positive that the main girl is cute, the main guy is cool, I kind of feel like it needed a little bit more. I kind of didn't like the fact that Alya was constantly needing the main male character to kind of come in and swoop and pick her up off her feet and kind of resolve all of the issues. I mean, it happens a few times in the volume, and by the end of the volume I was kind of like, oh, you know what, she's kind of portrayed as a kind of like this high and mighty princess kind of character who's like untouchable and really good grades and stuff like that. And while we do see a vulnerable side to her, it kind of feels like it's a little bit too kind of, oh, actually she can't really do anything for herself. And I don't know, I kind of feel like when I read these stories, I kind of want to see the main character kind of getting a few one-ups and she getting a few one-ups and kind of being a little bit balanced, but it was very much all stacked in his corner. Everything was about him, and in some ways, while the main character was cool, it kind of started feeling that he was a little bit too cool, and I don't know, I just kind of felt that it was just like he's portrayed as like somebody who's kind of like a bit of a loser. He kind of portrays as someone who's always falling asleep in class, he can't even get stuff right. But then it's also in the same vein, he's like, oh well, actually he's part of the student council and he can do this and he does that and he does this and that and he was actually a really good student, and it's kind of like, just decide. Now this is just volume 1, and I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna pick up volume 2 onwards because I kind of want to see how this goes, and quite frankly, we need a lot more genuinely positive series that's just super fun and cute and very easy to read and have done in the space of an hour or so. I'm gonna give this the benefit of the doubt and see that they are gonna have a little bit more of an expansion for both characters. He's gonna have a few issues where she's gonna have to pick him up, vice versa. But yeah, and the other thing is, it's the sister. So there's a sister character, and as you can expect, it's a light novel, so what happens? That's right, a sister is all you need. Yeah, it's that kind of brotherly sister, too clingy relationship. I don't get the trope, I don't understand it, it's kind of off-putting. It is in this, it is resolved in the first volume, it's not too much of an issue, it just kind of still existed, so I just kind of want to give that one, because I know a lot of people pick stuff up and they kind of see it and it's like, they see it and then it's like, oh no. So if you do see it, push on with it, it's not as bad as you might think it is, it still exists though. Honestly, Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian is a really pleasant title. Now, I've only given it a very quick, 10-minute review, and I just feel I could talk about this one so much more, and I probably will. I probably will come back to this one and a few other titles in the near future, because, yep, I did like this one. If you do want another title very much in the same vein as The Angel Next Door Spoils You Rotten, this one needs to be on your list. It was a very charming title. It had a few flaws, but to be honest, I feel like a lot of the flaws are gonna go away when things are expanded and the world just, the author just gets to grips with the characters. Now, I left this to the end. The author does see in afterward that he created Alya to be cute and he created the main character to be cool. I just kind of wanted to point that out at the end because it's kind of like, I feel like that is the author's intention. Whether I like it or not is kind of still part of what I wanted to talk about in the character whole thing. But yeah, I mean, the author did say that. I genuinely hope that he does kind of give Alya a few times to one-up over Masachiko and vice versa, and introduce a few more characters. Even the sister and the childhood best friend, they were both interesting enough characters that I kind of wanted to know a little bit more about them. And the fact that this is such an easy and relaxing read, while having quite a few funny moments, and even a few moments that, while they might be tropey in terms of light novels or romance or slice of life, they did manage to do a few new unique things, and Alya is genuinely a really fun and cute character. I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely thought she was a really fun, cute character, very much the same as a few other ones, because hey, at the end of the day, if you do have a character that is designed to be cute and actually successfully manages to be cute, you've done your job. The same with designing a character that is purposely supposed to be cool and manages to be cool, you have done your job. And for that, I definitely would recommend checking out Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian. It's a really pleasant title, it's not going to take you too long to read, and I genuinely think that it's cute enough that you're going to have a good enough time. At least that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys thought of this one in the comments. Is it worth checking out volume 2? Or maybe not. But I'll let you guys do that. See you next time. And if you did like this, remember to like and consider subscribing. See you later.